Hi, you guys. Okay, I told you right after that first video, I'm going to come right back with a second one, and this is vision number 2. And in this vision, I actually had it last week. Today is September 11, 2015. I had this dream either on a Monday or a Tuesday of last week. And I promised the Lord that I would every vision or dream you show me, hopefully, by me looking at other YouTubers that have visions and dreams, hopefully y'all can, pick pieces of the puzzle and learn from our dreams, and either somebody can help us and basically kind of tell us what it means. But in my way, or what I thought about it, that's how I think, God was trying to tell me or show me. But in this dream in particular, I was actually on my way to work, like I always do. I work really, really early in the morning at a hotel, and I'm on my way to work, and I get there, and I'm with all my other coworkers, and we are of every nationality at my job. That's one of the things I like. I love jobs with diversity, and you get to learn about other cultures and all that stuff. So in this dream, we prepping and getting the food out for the guests so they can eat. And while we're prepping, it's still the sun was trying to come out, and then out of nowhere it just got really dark, and you can see the sky as clear as day, like you were in Iowa or Antarctica. Like, it is so clear, like to the point if you can actually touch a cloud and grab it, you could. But in this dream, the clouds, how they're very slow to move in the sky. You can tell when they're moving, but it's like moving really slow. They were going like so fast, like it was just going fast. Like, I don't know if time was changing or something, but it was just going fast. But in this dream, instead of us being in a hotel, me and all of my coworkers, even my boss, we ended up outside of the hotel. And we like, how did we get out here? Like, we was just in the kitchen, and now we all outside. So I'm like, what? So everybody looking around, all scared, paranoid. And I mean, everybody, all of the gay house employees were at work this day. So the sky turns dark blue, but the clouds are flying past like it's in a race. And out of nowhere, this one cloud comes down in the shape of a funnel cloud, but a small one, not a real big one, a really small one. And it was coming down, but it was aiming for me. Like, I'll move one way, it followed. And I just stood there because I'm like, I don't know if God's trying to take me right now, or I don't know what's happening. So I just kind of stood there. My coworkers like, get out the way, get out the way. And like 2 or 3 of them like kind of took me and moved me out the way. And this funnel cloud came all the way to the ground and turned into a little tornado, a little narrow one, and it started spinning. And it just stayed in that one spot and was spinning. So we still looking like, we don't know what to do. This is scary. That's how we was looking. But at the same time, we want to see what's going to happen. So it's not like we can move anywhere because we just went from our kitchen to the outside of the hotel. And now the sky went from about to, the sun was about to come out. And the sun ended up going back in to create this somewhat storm, but with no rain. And out of nowhere, this small tornado made like a little time. It was almost like a time machine that the tornado was making. It didn't actually turn into a time machine. It was still a tornado, but it made the floor move to the point the floor was spinning. The floor was spinning while we were still standing on it, but we wasn't moving. The floor was moving and the tornado was moving, and everybody was looking like, oh my God. Some of them screaming, some of them crying, and they didn't know what to do because for some reason we were all stuck in that spot, and it's not like we could leave. So within seconds, this tornado took us back in time. Like, it took us back in slavery times. And the reason why I say slavery times, because stuff I read about in books and seen old pictures, even, while growing up and learning about it in school, I'm looking around me, and I'm seeing people like in horse and carriage, and at this point we was in a black community, thank God. we were in a black community, and everybody was dressed in these long dresses, basically like 1920, 1900s type wear. But we was in a black community though, and I'm seeing all these people riding around in carriages and horses and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we just went into a time machine, and I'm like, it took us here. And my boss, everybody just looking around. Of course, me and some of my black coworkers, we were at ease because this is our comfort zone. These are our people. We didn't really worry too much, but we did because we like, damn, look what time this is. Like, we are 2015 generation, but we're back in like 1900 something. It was scary. It was so scary because we didn't know if people was gonna come out hitting us with whips or trying to hurt us, kill us, or what. So all these nationalities, as far as the people that work with me, everybody looking around scared and don't know what to do because we don't know if what will happen, because all of us are in this one big group together, but we're all diverse, and we're somewhere back in time where that wasn't allowed. And if that was seen, people would look at it as an abomination, or like look and discuss like it was something wrong with it. So I go to my boss to see was he okay. He wouldn't even raise his head up. He just kept his head down, like not in shame, but he was so scared to see what was around him. He looked up that one time just to see where we were at, and then he put his head down because I guess he felt like, man, I'm either die or something. Like, he didn't know what to do. He was so scared. So he just kept his head down. He didn't want to talk to nobody. It was almost like he wanted to wake up so the dream could go away. But it was my dream. But it felt so real though. So I'm asking, me and like one of my other coworkers was thinking like, where are we? So we see a carriage with probably like 30 or 40 kids in it, and probably like 2 adults, one in the back with the kids, and one is driving the carriage. So I go on one side of the carriage, and I'm talking to the kids like, hi, and I'm like, where are we? like where are we? Like, what is this town? Like what's the name of this place? What's the name of this city? And the kids were just looking at me like, oh my God, look at her. Like, she looks so modern. Like, I looked so different from them versus, how they looked back then, how they was dressed and everything. And so since they really couldn't tell me anything, I went on the other side. I'm like, let me go to what an adult is. So I go on the other side of the carriage, and I ask the adult, I'm like, where are we? And the adult woman and another kid, an adult woman and a kid was like, you're in Salem. And I'm like, where? And they was like, you're in Salem. And I was so in shock. You know how you be in shock to the point where like you can't really say nothing or do anything because you can't believe what just happened or what was said, whatever. And that's how I felt in this dream. Like, after I was told where I was at, regardless, it didn't really matter where we was, just the fact that I'm looking like, man, this is like some southern stuff. like it just looked so. It just didn't look right. It wasn't it wasn't the place we were supposed to be. We were supposed to have been at work prepping food and going home to our families like they were. But in this dream, like, I think after I asked them that question, I didn't want to know what was going to happen after I asked them that. So after, I was looking all crazy and confused, I just woke up from the dream. And then I actually tried to go back to sleep to try to get the dream back again. I actually did that in both dreams, both vision dreams. But in this dream, I was like, man, maybe I should have saw this dream to the end, but I didn't. And I was thinking, like, what was God trying to tell me? Or what was he trying to show me? And all I could think about is this political race that's coming up right now as to who's going to be the next president of the United States. I stick to what I said in the first video I talked about when I said, the vision and just what you see on TV. I still think Obama is going to be the last president. I stick by that. If that changes, sorry you guys, but I seriously doubt it. I think he's going to be the last president, and I think he's going to turn this country into a communist country. If not, it's going to be a dictatorship. And that's what I got from the dream. I felt that the dream was trying to tell me that it's going to be very dark, very isolated. We're going to go back in time, in slavery times, not just blacks. I mean, everybody, especially Christians. Because as you can see, even when you watch the news, just recently with the woman, the Kentucky court clerk who didn't want to sign over gay marriage licenses to people. They tried to incriminate her for not wanting to do that, for sticking up to her spiritual beliefs. Perfect example. They tried to, actually keep her in jail, and they trying to fault her by saying she was wrong for that and trying to make her as the bad person. And in fact, she's the good person. And I have a lot of gay friends, boys and girls, and I love them to death. But at the same time, I can't agree with what they're doing. And one of my friends even said she knows that it's wrong, but that's how she feels. And I don't want to judge anybody. I'm definitely not going to do that because I'm not perfect myself. But at the same time, like God said, it's better to warn people and say something about it, and instead of just keeping it in and trying to save yourself, because you're basically condemning yourself if you hold stuff in that and especially if you know it's the right thing to do or say. So in this case, I definitely think that the dream is trying to tell me that we will be, whoever is elected, or in times to come, we are going to get put right. Everything is mainly a cycle. If you notice, everything keeps repeating itself and happening again. So basically, this may be an imprisonment or basically slavery for all nations, especially Christians in general. Like, there's no other way to put it. I just think that it's going to be a really hard time for us. The only thing is we would have to prepare and know how to deal with it, or just find ways to spread the word to people before it happens. I pray that everybody continue to watch the news, even though sometimes the news don't tell you everything. Just read. I know I read a lot about stuff, so hopefully you guys watch this video and let me know what you think about my dream. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.